what does the Golden Age truly involve? So the Golden Age truly involves the unification of humans, the unification of divine, unification of interstellar, when everything comes all together to unify and complete with the number 10. But that's what's going to be happening in the material world. But what is going to happen in the spiritual world is the bigger question. Well, what's going to happen in the spiritual world once the world becomes unified officially? The divine will end up retiring. As I like to say, when the world retires, they retire. Which also means, why do I say this? Well, the reason is because all of our divine beings, all of our guides, all of them are actually becoming very exhausted after working millennia in service of humans. At first, most of us humans thought we were working for them, and which is both true and not true at the same time, because at the same time, these divine beings are also working for us. So it is sort of like a return, re-give kind of relationship, but after eons of doing the same thing, it kind of gets a little exhausting for them. So the time is nearing close that the divine will eventually retire from helping humans, because by then humans will be able to fully guide themselves and help themselves in this new world to come. I'm not sure if most of this generation will be alive then, but it will most probably will happen, and will probably happen sooner than we expect. But the thing is, with us humans, we always seem to see the divine as like, they never get tired, they never get exhausted, they're perfectly fine. But they don't get exhausted in a way that us humans think they don't get exhausted. They don't get exhausted like how humans get exhausted. They get exhausted more like sort of in their energetic signatures or something like that. Their form of exhaustion is completely different to our form of exhaustion. But just because the divines will eventually fully retire, which will most likely happen shortly, or not exactly shortly in like human years shortly, more like an eon shortly for that case. But what retirement looks like for the divine beings is that they'll end up retiring back into the light, and they'll start being able to think, to have all the freedom that they've always wanted, and they'll be able to think for themselves, do things for themselves. And when they retire back into light, that's basically where they're going to stay for a very long time. And then however long that long time is going to be, but then once the retirement is over, they end up leaving the light again, and then this whole entire cycle is started all over again with a whole bunch of new experiences, new civilizations, and all that stuff. So the retirement is only to close up this phase of our eras, this phase of the divine, and this phase of the divine and humankind. And when they retire, that's when this phase is finally over, and then they get to rest, and then the next cycle ends up beginning. And then whole new experiences are created, whole new everything is all created, and yeah, that's basically it. This phase is going to be coming to an end for the divine soon, and when that happens, the next phase should start in another few eons or so. So